Are we ready? Okay, super. Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you are in the world, for those watching online. Delighted to kick off this moment that we've been waiting for. I am Kathy Boffman-McLeod. I'm the CEO of Climate Resilience for All, and we are a global nonprofit focused on addressing the many impacts of extreme heat for vulnerable communities through a gender lens. And our motto is, when women are climate resilient, we will all be climate resilient. And for those here in the room, we have a sticker for you that says just that. So they're going around right now. Thank you for wearing that sticker. And I am also delighted that we have a wonderful group of speakers today. And just as is apropos of this COP, many of them are not here. And so we will be adjusting and shifting and going with the flow, because we are a resilience hub and a resilience organization, and that's how it goes. So everyone's a little sweaty and with a positive attitude. And sometimes the speakers come, and sometimes they don't, and that's okay. It's okay, yes. That does not diminish the enthusiasm of our message or the power of what we are saying and doing today. I want to, there's so many good things that have happened at the onset of this COP. There are dazzling and dizzying announcements about loss and damage capitalization of the fund, and health and climate, and a pledge. And today there'll be a cooling pledge announced. And so many intentions and ambitions are being set and quantified here. And that's really important. But one of the things about extreme heat, and I'm delighted to see so many conversations at this COP about extreme heat versus last year and the year before, is that it's still little understood. And the disproportionate impact on women is also still not sufficiently understood. And that is the driver for this new organization that we launched and for the project that we are announcing today. And so I think it's important to give real clarity and detail about the health impacts to women of heat, particularly poor women in the global south. And we have in the past, in early 2024, we experimented with an extreme heat microinsurance for 21,000 members of the Self-Employed Women's Association, and learned a lot. And what we learned is that women have blisters on their hands from the tools they use that are too hot, not made for those temperatures. We learned that they have miscarriages, dizziness, a rash that is now 12 months out of the year when it used to be 4. And from our new partner, Kwendo Core, and I'll be introducing the CEO of Kwendo Core very soon. Kwendo Core is Pashto for Women's Room, and we'll share more about this wonderful organization. But what we've learned is that members in the Kwendo Core community are experiencing skin diseases from lack of access to water, as water is further and further away to get to the vaccines that are normally safe at the temperatures that they move through to get to the communities. Those temperatures are too high, and those vaccines are spoiling, and that means that kids and families are not getting vaccinated, and many more impacts. And yes, we have to talk about those impacts, and we have to share that that's what women are experiencing. And what that leads to is lower income, and income is everything. And so what we're looking for and what we want in these partnerships with these community members is agency, to build agency. And that is the mission of Kwendo Core and the mission of the Self-Employed Women's Association. And so linking heat, health to income and protection is what this is all about. And so I am delighted to announce the Women's Climate Shock Insurance Initiative. We will be reaching 150,000 women in India and Pakistan with a microinsurance for flood and heat. We will be adding a piece of protective equipment that is the choice of the participant. What is it that they need to be better protected? Is it a tarp? Is it a cool box? Is it solar-powered lights? And then we'll be piloting an early warning system through the WhatsApp chat with their grassroots leaders. They currently don't have access to good early warnings, but they also don't have access to the actionable guidance that they need to know what to do. Oftentimes you get a warning and then you say, wow, okay, it seems dangerous. What should I do? We will be targeting specifically segmented messages specifically for members of the community. And lastly, there's an element of financial inclusion, that members are in the banking system or coming into the banking system or using banking apps for the first time. That also increases agency. And so we have a remarkable set of partners and speakers. And first I'd like to introduce Marcia Toledo from the Climate Champions team. She's the director of the Race to Resilience, and she's here on behalf of Her Excellency Razan Al Mubarak. And so, Marcia, please come up. I want to express our gratitude for you, for your support for this project and for today's event, and for all the things that you do for resilience right now. So please, over to you, Marcia.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you very much. It's definitely a pleasure to be here with all of you today. So I'm also happy to share the words of our UN climate change high-level champion, Razan Al Mubarak, that is here with us in her heart and also with her energy. For us, it's critical to believe on the opportunities that have, as Kathy said, we are all going to be resilient when women are resilient. So her words are more about how can we increase that support? How can we make sure that we recognize and we bring forward the voices and the opportunities from women across all contexts and across every corner of the world? And it's necessary that we support the actors, the organizations, that we are advancing and recognizing all the women's rights, perspectives, needs, and opportunities. These efforts go beyond only being heard. These efforts is about placing gender equality and women's rights at the heart of the movement for just climate action. As UN climate change high-level champions, their mission is to galvanize non-state actors, including businesses, philanthropies, coalitions, NGOs, civil society, indigenous people, every actor that is making a contribution, especially on climate action, so that we can contribute to the goals of the Paris Agreement. In this effort, we recognize as well that, as Kathy said, the evidence climate change exacerbate gender inequalities, particularly threaten the livelihoods, health, safety, and opportunities for women and girls, making especially more prone for displaced in case of climate disasters. This is why it's urgent. We have to invest in women. There are no other options. It's actually a need, a must. Women are central to their communities. Women are central to their families. And it's critical that we help decision makers to support them, that we support also the approaches that any actor can incorporate so that we can support the women in their decisions for food, for fuel, for household, for their income, for their child, nutrition, for their family benefit. So it's fabulous to welcome this initiative. It's critical that we accelerate action among the many different actors, but especially that we can recognize leaders that are already advancing these. For example, Rima, Nanavati, and other leaders that are here with us today. And we applaud that collaboration, we applaud that innovation, and that climate resilience for all can bring, so that we can have income support and physical risk reduction to women that are the backbone for their families and communities. In this collaboration with the insurance sector, it's critical also to accelerate the opportunity for implementation and to showcase that these are feasible. So we are all eager to learn more about these and make sure that we can move forward and elevate and support the leadership of these opportunities. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Marcia. I would like to call up Mariam Bibi, who is the CEO of Quendo Core from Peshawar, Pakistan, and our partner. Very excited. And I may have mentioned the 150,000 women will be both in Pakistan and in India. And so would you join me here and watch out for all these cords here? Let's get that down. There we go.
First of all, thank you very much, all of you, to be present. And when many such occasion, when there are people and I say, if only one person listening to you and one having impact on one person is a great impact. So there are people who listen, but there are very few people who internalize what is being said. So thank you very much, all of you. As already introduced by Kathy, my name is Mariam Bibi and I work for Quendo Core NGO. And we have 30 years of experience. And Quendo Core means sister's home. It's a Pashto word, and it implies that women themselves have to come together and collaborate and help each other, and the change must come from within the women, and women should not be waiting for others to help them, although that is also very important. We should be making effort, but the change has to come from within. And we are very excited with this new partnership with Climate Resistance for All, and because this is the expertise and the technologies and the communities with whom we are working are far behind. It's a very conservative area. It's the northwest of Pakistan. It is bordering Afghanistan, and militancy, as you may know, is very common every day. There are bombs, there are suicide attacks, all that is happening. And in all this context, Quendo Core has created a space for itself, because we are very contextual sensitive and we want to work in collaboration with others. And the central aspect is to build trust, and to be more community welfare oriented approach to mobilize community. So I think in Quendo Core have collaboration with many partners at Pakistan level, but with CRA, I think this will be unique, because CRA has this connection, and CRA has more in-depth knowledge and experience of climate resilience approaches, and which we're trying to transform so that it's locally more relevant and more acceptable and more owned by the local community. Because surviving in that context, and it's like, I always say, it's like very easy to move to safe places like America or like to West, but I think it is more important to stay on grounded within the community, among the community, and work for a change that is owned and which is indigenous. So Quendo Core, we will already touched upon, Kathy, the hardships due to climate because it's a very diverse area. So if you have some idea of Afghanistan and that area bordering Afghanistan and Pakistan, on one hand, it's very mountains, all hilly and mountains area, very hard area. So it's like flood is the most, common. Every year now we are experiencing massive floods. And so that is one side. The other side is arid zone, rain-fed area where drought is severely, impacting on the life, especially of life of women. And then we have Peshawar, that is a city. So from both area, a lot of migration take place due to and displacement happens. So city is more congested and like extreme poverty. We see extreme poverty and women suffering the most. Women, for example, in the drought area, when they are digging well, the water level has gone much deeper than before. So it is more expensive. It is more like labor intensive, and that is, the poor community cannot afford that, and so women have to fetch water from faraway places. And then because of the shortage of water, you can imagine that there is very poor hygiene because they don't have clean drinking water, and then due to a lack of clean drinking water, there are so many diseases, especially worms among the kids. So, and then diarrhea, skin diseases, and during pregnancies, premature deliveries. That is all part of them. And then that is a kind of a picture of the drought and the heat, increased heat, result of increased heat. But then on the mountain area, so there is all crops are washed. I have witnessed to many communities, and it's terrible to see, because men all go out for earning, for livelihood, because everything is gone, and women become single headed. They look after their family, but then they lack information. There are cultural barriers, their mobility is restricted, and within the community also, accessing women and reaching to women is the most difficult part of our work. So have to have trust of the community, have to have trust of the powerful people within the community who control what happens in a community. So reaching women, and then lack of education, lack of literacy, and lack of all this basic system, because system breaks down. When floods come, everything is washed out. So the whole system, the support system breaks down. So working into that and creating spaces within that system needs a lot of effort, as well as expertise, as well as people who have passion in their heart. I think helping people in those difficult areas where there are not only difficult actors, as I mentioned, but also factors, also like insecurity. And so I think we will be looking after solutions which are climate friendly, and we will be learning, and we will be working in partnership, because it is very clear that one NGO cannot do the what is needed. Thank you very much.
Next, I'm very glad to invite Veronica Scotti, the chairperson of the public sector Solutions, yes, I was looking for that word. Solutions, always a solution, of Swiss Re. Thank you, come right up.
Thank you, Kathy. We have had a beautiful, beautiful testimony, unfortunately a sad one from Mariam, but this is exactly why we're here today. Swiss Re is a global reinsurance company, and Our study, our insights tell us that 50% of global financial needs to this date remain unprotected. That's over 409 billion of income that today is not protected and is at risk of death. And when we combine it with the risk of health, 747 billion of health risks not being protected every year, we're looking in the trillions already, folks. That is before we overlay the climate scenarios that Mariam so poignantly has shared with us. And we know that that is not just affecting livelihood in the sense of the properties, but their health critically, their mental being, their ability to raise their children. Women are disproportionately affected. And so we're very delighted to be partners in the Women Climate Shock Insurance Initiative, because we are convinced that our technical capabilities, that's the best we can offer. That's all we can offer at this point, to combine income protection for flood and extreme heat, will be servicing. And it's done with a spirit of gratitude for having invited us to do something to bring resiliency to the communities that need our support the most. And I'm grateful to Kathy personally and all the members of this coalition for doing this beautiful work together. Thank you.
I'd like to now ask Ekoswehi Iyahin, who is the Secretary General of the Insurance Development Forum and a wonderful partner and a member of CRA's board, to come up and share some wisdom. Thank you. Then I'll go to Rowan and then to Emma. Okay. I'm going to do a photo.
Okay, thank you very much, Kathy. I'll be very brief because I think much of it has been said, right? When we look at women, the vulnerabilities, the fact that not enough focus is paid to the needs of women. So as the Insurance Development Forum, and also personally, I think it's actually an honor to be involved in work that can be meaningful for communities who often are not seen and are not heard. And so this is really important efforts to be able to sit here and raise this on the global stage in terms of the conversation and identifying the problem. But for me, what is also special is the fact that we focus on solutions. These are communities that need financing. They need to be understood, and they need solutions that match their cultural and their context. And so this effort and its ability to bridge those different elements really speaks to the kinds of solutions that are really needed right now. So I just want to say thank you to Kathy, the board members who I will be working with on this agenda, to learn more and to really do meaningful things. So just thank you for the opportunity to have the IDF and also myself personally involved in this endeavor, and really looking forward to what we can do and pushing boundaries. Thank you.
And next, Rowan Douglas, the CEO of Howden's Climate Risk and Resilience.
There you go.
Come on right up.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I'll be quick too. I'm really here on behalf of my colleagues, Charlie Langdale and Henrietta Southby, who are really at the heart of this, and David Howden, our CEO, who's quoted in the press release. I joined Howden just 4 or 5 months ago, so all the hard work that was done before with CEWA was really up to them, and I think they were very proud to support the initial phase of this, and really looking forward to part 2. So I was racking my brain this morning on the metro on the way in, thinking, what could I say? And I'll now make it even shorter, personally. And you know that phrase, why I think this is so important, the climate shock program for women, and obviously starting with CEWA, is, you know that phrase when you have on an airline, they say, look after yourself before you put a mask on others, right? And 3 years ago, I was lucky enough to be involved in a micro-insurance study over 2 years that Ana Gonzalez, my wife, ran. It was to study 300 families which were living in a city called Tacloban, which is at the heart of Typhoon Haiyan, which had struck 5 years earlier. And 150 of the families she studied had insurance, and 150 families had not. And the study was to see what were the life outcomes of those 5 years later after the hurricane, after the typhoon. And she took me on one of the field trips. And I remember the clients were members of a company called Card MBA. It was a mutual microinsurance organization. And every 2 weeks, the members would go to a member's house, about 30 people usually, to pay their premium, 2-week premium, to say prayers, to sing songs, and also have a variety of sort of actually resilience discussions. And I went there, and you can't help being a bit sort of prejudiced in your own history. And in Britain, I would say that sometimes buying insurance is usually maybe a thing that men tend to do in many households. And I went to this meeting, and everyone was women. All the clients were women. There was one person from Card MBA who was a man. And of course, it made sense because 90% of the 5 million members of Card MBA are women. And the 5 million members actually, through their families, protect nearly 25 million people. So actually, by protecting women against heat, you're protecting, if you believe in the power of insurance, the very portal that's actually going to protect probably 5 or 6 times as many. So just wanted to highlight that this initiative is really getting to the very core of community and societal resilience, and can't wait to see the next stages. Congratulations, Kathy.
Okay, and our next speaker is Emma Howard-Boyd, and she wears many hats. She's a board member of Climate Resilience for All, and has been a wonderful advisor, and she is a global ambassador for the Race to Resilience. So Emma, after you, come on up.
Thank you, Kathy, and so wonderful to see many of you in the audience who've helped give birth to Climate Resilience for All and this fantastic initiative. And I think what Rowan's just done, one of the main people behind this initiative in terms of funding and technical assistance, is show how the world of insurance and finance, that's my background, which often feels very ethereal and disconnected from the real world, can get through to the people who most need it. And it was wonderful to hear from Miriam. We've also got the work of Rima Nanavati and SAVA, the Self-Employed Women's Association, which show how things can be delivered to many, many thousands of women. And we hope to see these projects, these initiatives spread even further. And also great to hear more about the partnerships that exist. So in the board that Kathy has brought together for Climate Resilience for All, we bring together that technical expertise, those who've worked for a long time on the climate resilience agenda, those from a finance background, to bring very, very practical solutions out into the field. And that is what I love most about this work, is that you can take things that feel very distant and actually work with those people who need it most and deliver things to women. And as the T-shirts say, and the stickers say, and I've got one of the T-shirts here, when women are climate resilient, we will all be climate resilient. So great to see She Changes Climate in the audience. We partner with them. We partner with Project Dandelion. All of these things coming together to create a real difference to the whole world. Thank you very much, Kathy.
So I think we've got to check real quick with Karen. Karen, what is T-minus what for our panel? 10 minutes. Let's have 10 minutes. Let's understand a little bit more about Miriam and her community. So Miriam, do you want to come and sit here? We're just going to have a quick chat. And Emma, come on up. Yes, Ekoswehi, do you have to Scooby? Yeah, you do. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, come and have a seat. Yes, Ekoswehi. Can we do a quick photo before you step away? Yeah, okay. We're just going to do a quick photo. Pause the programming. Yep. Yep. Yes, of course. Hi. For folks online, we're going to have a short conversation here. I'm noting this pillar, which I'm sure everyone else has noted also. Yes, that is right in the middle of the Resilience Hub. Okay, so I'm going to look at that. Okay, so I'm going to sit right here. All right. So let me start with you, Miriam. We heard about the impacts. One of the things I have learned from you is you have said to me, climate words are English words. Yes. And that struck me. That really was profound. Climate words are English words, meaning these things don't translate easily for you in the communities where you're working. And so I wondered if you could just talk about that for a minute, because we have to all be saying the same thing. And we have, so let me hand this to you.
Yes, thank you very much. I think maybe for some words we have very good words where community understand. It's very important that community can relate, because if you remember, there was gender was buzzword. There was a time that there was so much emphasis on gender, and how to take gender to the community level was very complex. How to explain the gender, because conceptually when people, especially particularly men, would use it because there was a lot of money involved in that. And but when you but when you go deeper into it, then they wouldn't understand. So it's like about women. It's not about only women. No? So same is the case with climate, because climate has so many other words like adaptation, resilience, strategies. So unless, if you, because I'm talking from the context of village women who are community women who are illiterate, who know only one language, Pashto, who haven't seen, some women haven't gone all their life outside their village. So for these women, it's very important, for these communities, very important that we give serious thinking to come up with words with whom they can relate. So for that, a lot of effort would be needed. I think, yes. So, and I think this, yes, you want to add?
Well, when you finish.
Yeah, no, so this language, and so it's not only language, it's how you go and interact with the community. So always, when we go as outsider, even belonging to that community, but coming from city, you dress up a bit differently. So you are not seen among one of them. So how you take yourself so that that difference of superiority is,
Goes away.
yeah, go away. And so it's like it needs a lot of kind of effort that you behave and take yourself that you are not superior, that you are there to help, and then most important is that you are not there to impose. So we worked in many communities with people, men, because of the the culture, the very conservative environment and patriarchal society. When we would start interacting initially, so when the resistance was very strong, we would leave that because they were not yet ready. But we would start with another community, and when we were successful in another community, that community itself would then come to us and, oh, please come to our village also, because now we know what you are doing, because the neighborhood, always communication is so fast. So what my point is not imposing. And I think the third point which I want to emphasize is that work with the people in a difficult context. One should not be saying it all success. One learns from the failure, but persistence is very important, that you are persistent and then you have that resilience again, that you are there. And that has helped us in the last 30 years, that we have created a good kind of reputation, and people see us as among one of them.
Mariam, such what? Can't go close. We'll go with this one. Mariam, such wise words, and I think we can all learn so much from the resilience you've built in your community over the years, particularly as we go into a changing climate, an ever more changing climate. And we heard from Rowan earlier the importance of going and visiting the research trip that he did with his wife, Ana Gonzalez. Kathy, the whole next stage for your work and climate resilience for all is to focus on women. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about why you've focused on this as part of your strategy? Here's the mic.
Well, in our first test of had a 60-day contract for the extreme heat income insurance with the Self-Employed Women's Association, and Rima Nanavati sends her regrets. Logistics have been challenging. I don't need to tell anyone here this, so she's sorry not to be here. But what we learned was the key to the value, and that physical piece of equipment, that thing that was not affordable for the participants and was combined with a risk transfer that gave them a peace of mind that even if the product didn't pay out, they had peace of mind that I am protected if terrible extreme heat comes and I can't work. Plus the notion that it would come straight to their bank account. And so understanding the value was really important. And one of the things that we are looking forward to with Quendo Core is spending time learning from the community in terms of what sort of product and package is going to work for those communities. And so that idea that climate words are English words is really important because we have to build value. And the risk literacy that comes with the words and then the understanding of how it impacts their individual lives, and then what's the size of the value of the thing. And a lot of it is about how much money will you give me if this thing happens, and does that money help me buy the food that I need for my family? Does that money let me make the plans I need to make? But what we found most interesting is that the product did not pay out, but what the early evaluation said is that this was extremely valuable because I got this thing I could never afford. And it meant that I could put the vegetables I'm selling into a cooler and they would last 3 days when they were only lasting 1. And so very practical things like that were core value to members. And we'll learn in your community. And we'll be with SEVA working in the same 7 trades that we did in the last one. So that would be street vendors, recycling, waste recyclers, construction workers, head loaders, ship breakers, and the rest. We don't have to name them all, but they're all very heat exposed and flood exposed. And so what you may be gathering from all of this is that these organizations and institutions like yours, 30 years in the making, SEVA 50 years, yes, they've built the trust, but they have also built a resilience and agency. You're starting with that. And so when someone comes and says, I'm gonna ask you to pay $1 and I'm gonna give you this insurance policy and I'm gonna explain how it goes, and I want you to sign up, and then you can pick, a cool box or solar lights, and it all sounds a little bit wacky. And you do it because you trust the institution and the community you've been working with that has supported you with saving, with childcare, with healthcare. And so it's a really important point in our early experience with the extreme heat income support is that it's that trusted partner, and it has to be there. And so next step is to learn what that value set is for your community, and we're going to get cracking. And I think our 10 minutes are probably up. Karen, am I right? 2 minutes. Great. Okay. Any questions from the audience? 2 whole minutes. It's an eternity. Yes, ma'am.
I thought I could shout. My name is Hope Morera. I'm the managing director of ZEPRI, which is a Pan-African institution that is strong in climate adaptation and resilience. And we are working in an area that has the most vulnerable women, the Horn of Africa. So we're doing a drought product. And of the 300,000 clients we've reached, or pastoralists, it's a pastoralist community, 57% are women. So we are digging deep into how do we make now women groups the aggregation groups. So that is pure aggregation using men. We think that is sustainability and resilience. My comment really on that is the other thing we've learned in that and in another pro bono project I'm involved in with Mastercard Foundation is that literacy is part of the resilience. So let's not forget the literacy. So you get women to access some finance, you try to teach them insurance. And I mean, if climate words are English words, insurance words are, I don't know what words. Okay. Yeah, exactly. The reading and writing is so critical. So it's something that I would like us to carry along because that kind of empowers them as well. They don't have to rely on their husbands when they're going to write their check. Exactly. So that's all I wanted to contribute. Thanks.
Fantastic. Anything you wanted to respond to?
So what was her basic question that you
I think what you've highlighted, and it's something we can all learn from, is that translation service of taking the different sectors that we work in, and it's through groups like Kwendel Core, like Saver, that we can really understand how to take what might feel very technical, very financial, and make it very relevant for those who need the support, and we can all learn how to do that better so that it really makes a difference at the grassroots level. So thank you for your comment.
And I would say, and I think your last point is that literacy is essential. And so that was the big point I think she was making, is that has to be folded in. And if, what we've been coming to very quickly is that if without agency, it's hard to be resilient. That's your quote, yeah. So thank you all very much for coming, and we'll keep you posted on how it goes. We're going to get started as soon as we get back, and yeah. Any more questions? Thoughts, comments? Well wishes? Thank you. Thank you.
Speaking of translation,
Yeah.
is the community skeptical of such products or such? Because I know because of the translation or the language or the differences. Can you tell us about the skepticism? This is something that you need to work on, of part of the translation?
I'll let Miriam answer, but I think in the SEVA case, they didn't have skepticism. I mean, they had healthy skepticism of, now wait, I'm gonna pay this, you might or might not give me money back, I don't know, but you're gonna give me this other thing. Okay, I'll try. But that trust of the partner overcame the skepticism. And that's right. And good point, Emma, that the membership of SEVA surged after this program because there was a word of mouth that this physical piece of equipment was a part of the program. And so you had to put your dollar in to get the piece of equipment, and you had to have your own bank account so that the money could be wired. And so those two things were required, and then the membership went from 2.5 million to 2.8 million. I mean, we can't take credit for all of that, but there's a piece of that they saw great value in it. So yes, the skepticism, but I think is pretty low. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks again, everybody. Woohoo!